My bad. My bad. My bad. Um, July the 15th, free television, Fox, PBC on Fox. You have Robert Guerrero, 33-5-1 with 18 KOs, taking on Omar Figueroa Jr., who is moving up in weight. Well, technically he's moving down because his last fight was at 154 of all places. So, I'm Teach You Controversy. This is Teach You Controversy Live. Let's just talk about it. They call Robert Guerrero the gatekeeper, the holder of the keys. You know, hunchback with the robe on, with the lantern, you know, with all the keys, you know. But realistically, what is he realistically the gatekeeper to? You know, like Andre Berto, in my opinion, was like the ultimate gatekeeper because if you fight Andre Berto, you get a shot at the WBC title. You know, it's just been like that. You know, so looking at Robert Guerrero, once he stepped on a 147-pound scene, he had two exciting fights. I remember I covered those fights here on the other channel against Celso Gaidin, right? And Celso Gaidin was even cracking him. You know, and then Andre Berto. The Andre Berto win, Andre Berto being the gatekeeper at the time, you beat Andre Berto, it led him to Floyd Mayweather. Of course, we all know what happened with that fight. I was a drunken fool at the time, and I said some dumb shit like, Robert Guerrero can beat... Oh, I can't believe I said that, but I was drunk. All right? Don't judge me. Don't judge me. I was drunk. You know? So, he took a nice little layoff. I remember that over a year, he came back for Yoshihiro Kamagai. This was the fight that put Yoshihiro Kamagai pretty much on the map as far as a known name in the 147, 154-pound divisions. So, he fought Yoshihiro Kamagai in the StubHub Center, if I'm correct, and it was a lit-ass fight. Yoshihiro Kamagai was laying some hands and also getting fucked up himself. That's when Yoshihiro Kamagai was solidified as having like, yo, he got a fucking good-ass chin. Then, of course, the premier of Premier Boxing Champions, he fought Keith one-time Thurman. The very first Premier Boxing Champions fight on NBC. And remember, the Keith Thurman fight was in talks for quite some time, but Robert Guerrero was doing the Keith Thurman what Keith Thurman is doing to Errol Spence right now as far as like, yo, you're not really a known name yet. Like, I can't really be fighting you. Ain't no money in you. So, Robert Guerrero made, if I'm correct, like, what, like $2 million or something? He made some good money to fight Keith Thurman, and it was a good-ass fight. And Robert Guerrero started touching Keith Thurman up late, but of course, Robert Guerrero ended up losing. Then he went on to fight Aaron Martinez. That was a midday card, if I'm correct, PBC on CBS, where at one point in time, he was standing up. He was knocked out cold on his feet. I don't know how the fight wasn't stopped. You know, so in a way, he kind of got like a gift there as far as the split decision win. Then, of course, he went on to fight Danny Garcia in the Staples Center in California and lost that fight in a very good fight where he put on a good performance. Then, this was shit got bad. He fought PBC on Spike. This was 9 months later, about 8 months later, against David Peralta. David Peralta was doing the two-step on him, doing the shuffling the feet, outboxing the shit out of Robert Guerrero. Won by split decision. And then poor old David Peralta goes back to being a journeyman, you know, and then goes and loses in his very next fight. So now Robert Guerrero is back against Omar Figueroa. If you don't know who Omar Figueroa is, Omar Figueroa, let's go look at this record, I forgot. 26-0-1 with 18 kills. He's been known to have hand issues. His last fight was, what is that? His last fight was 19 months ago, some shit, against Antonio DeMarco. I covered that fight, and that was above the 147-pound limit. And remember, he's a former 135-pound champion. You know, so he was covering some fights. Was it PBC on Fox? It was one of those where he had this suit on and he was looking like real fat. So now it's looking like he's going to settle in at 147 pounds to see what he can do. And really, truth be told, fighting Robert Guerrero, who's a 140-pounder, or should be at 140, but he's fighting at 147. I likely can't make 140. You know, it's a good mixture of styles. Because Omar Figueroa is known as far as a volume puncher, not really a knockout artist. And Robert Guerrero is known to be like the type of fighter to rough you up. So for a free TV fight, and especially for it to be the main event, you know, you can expect for it to be some crazy shit to go down. You know, like on paper, it's going to be an exciting fight. On paper. You see what I'm saying? And a lot of fans, I feel like, in our heart, we want to root for Robert Guerrero because we know that at this point in time, like, he needs this win. But something has been going on since he left the 135-pound division. He used to have an excellent jab. What happened to the boxing Guerrero? His jab used to be a machine. You know, Robert Guerrero used to be known to be like a boxer, like not this slugger, brawl or CrossFit, whatever this shit he be doing. And it just be like, damn, Robert, we know that you want to go out there and give a good show and everything. But, yo, bro, pull out that, find that jab. He used to be, his hands used to be sharp. He used to have some bounce in his step and everything. This is a whole different fighter than he used to be. So it's just like, like where does he go, from here if he loses? Like, what is his record now? I'm talking about in his last recent fights. If you really, really look at it, he could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He could be 1-5 in his last 6 fights if he would have lost to Aaron Martinez. So if you look at it, he's 2-4 in his last 6 fights. So what happens if he loses this? He's going to the Gabriel Rosado record looking. And it's like, the thing is not disrespecting Gabriel Rosado, but it's like, no matter how many times Gabriel Rosado will still lose, it's like, he can still get big fights and people still want to see him. Same thing with Robert Guerrero. But now he's really, really being known as the keeper of the gate, the holder of the keys, and the learner. So you just have to hope that he's taking it seriously. There was a video that came out, I'm wondering if he's still with his father, because truth be told, I understand, like, you can't break a bond between your father. You just can't, a father and a son. But maybe he needs, like, an extra advisor in camp. Something, man. Something. July the 15th is going to have a lot of fights. Even though they may be B-level, A-ish type fights, it's about 8 significant fights spread across multiple networks, here in the States and overseas. So, I'm T Street Controversy. This is T Street Controversy Live. I cover every single major fight live. Please subscribe.